AI and generative AI. You hear these terms thrown around all the time, right? And a lot of the time, people use them like they mean the exact same thing. But they don't, not at all. So let's get into it and figure out what the real difference is. Okay, let's just put it right out there from the start. AI and GenAI are not the same. They're definitely related, kind of like cousins, but what they actually do is fundamentally different. So, what is that difference? Stick with me, and by the end of this, you'll be able to explain it to anyone.
All right, first up, let's talk about the original, the OG, artificial intelligence, or AI. The absolute best way to think about your standard AI, just think of it as a super smart analyzer.
Now, here's the crucial thing you gotta get. Traditional AI works with information that already exists. That's its whole world. Its job is to swallow huge amounts of data, find all the hidden patterns, predict what's going to happen next, and then follow a strict set of rules. You know, there's a fantastic way to think about this. Picture AI as a super smart calculator. It's not inventing a new kind of math, right? It's just taking the numbers you give it and running calculations at a speed and a scale that, well, our brains just can't handle. So the whole process is actually a pretty logical flow. Step 1, it analyzes the data. Step 2, based on that, it predicts an outcome. And step 3, it follows its programming to get the job done. Simple, right? It's all about processing what's already there. Okay, so if AI is the analyzer, what's next? Well, now we get to talk about the creator, generative AI. And a great way to think about this one is as a creative engine. And this is where things get really interesting. See, GenAI doesn't just stop at looking at data and making a guess. No, it takes this massive leap into doing something completely new.
And here's that leap in action. GenAI literally creates. We're talking about it writing an email for you, generating a jaw-droppingly realistic picture just from your words, composing music, or even writing computer code. It's not just understanding things, it's making brand new original stuff from scratch.
So, this really brings us to the core of it all, the big takeaway. It all just boils down to this one simple, powerful idea: analyzing versus creating. There's a perfect way to put this. Think about it. AI is all about prediction. It looks at the past to tell you about the future. But GenAI, it's inventive. It conjures up something that literally did not exist in the world a second before you asked for it.
And looking at it side by side like this just makes it crystal clear. On one side, you've got AI, which analyzes what is. It finds patterns in the data we already have. On the other side, you've got GenAI, which creates what isn't, making something totally new from just a prompt. Analyze versus create. That's it. That's the divide.
Okay, cool. So we know the difference now. But why does it actually matter? Who cares? Well, understanding this is actually super important because it tells you which tool you need to pull out for which job. Just think of them as two completely different tools in your toolbox. You'd grab traditional AI when you need to make sense of some really complex data or make a smart prediction, but you'd turn to generative AI when you need to brainstorm some wild ideas or, actually produce some original content. One is for understanding, the other is for creating. Maybe the most powerful way to wrap your head around this is to think of it like this. Traditional AI is kind of like a mirror. It helps us see and understand the world as it is right now with incredible clarity. But GenAI, that's like a paintbrush. It gives us the power to imagine and even start building the world as it could be.
So let's just end with this thought. We've got one tool to master everything we already know and another one to invent what we don't. So if AI can analyze what is and GenAI can create what isn't, it just makes you wonder, right? What's left that can't be created next?